arrives to set sacred space. Inviting everyone who's joining on the replay to breathe with me for a moment. Center into your heart space. Breathing in that love light, that relaxation. Breathing out all the stress and worry. Being centered right here, right now, in this moment. During this beautiful full moon in Sagittarius. And yes, we are going to be talking about that as the title suggests. And I will have my chart up so that we can look into the energies, delve into some of these themes, pull some cards, see what the cards have to say. Hello, beautiful Annika. I'm going to give people a few minutes. Just continue breathing. Everyone who's here now, breathing, centering in, setting that intention to connect with all the beautiful benevolent beings who have messages for us today, with our own higher selves, with source creator consciousness, with our own source creator consciousness, right? To be fully present and anchored in this moment sounds much easier than it is in practice, right? Hello, Miranda. I was eating some fruit. I'm really working on, and you can all share with me sort of like what you're going through right now, what you're experiencing. For me, food's been a major thing lately. Just lots of food cravings and difficulties with food and diet. And I have a canker sore like in the back of my mouth right now, and it's burning, but I'm eating pineapple anyway, which is a really dumb thing to do when you have a canker sore. But I really love pineapple, and so we'll see how this goes. My mouth is telling me it's probably time to stop, but I only have one more piece of watermelon left, so I'm going to be eating some of the pineapple. I invite everyone to take a moment, get your snacks. Yes, I am a Taurus, as you can tell. Got the comfy shirt today, got the snacks. I didn't get a lot of sleep last night, so I'm doing the best I can, right? We're all doing the best we can right now, I think. But yeah, get your snacks, get your tea, get your water. We're going to talk about these energies. We're going to just be here together. I've really been called to just be present with people more. Honestly, when I go on social media lately, I just feel like it's just all this competing energy, competing for my attention. You know what I mean? Like everybody on there just screaming like, look at me, look at me, look at me. And it's just like, it's chaos, honestly. So like, I really feel like there's so much just being thrown at us all the time when we're scrolling on social media, when we're wherever we are, that it's like, there's such a benefit to just being present with each other and just taking a moment to not speak and just be here. You know what I mean? Just connect on a heart level. So I want to invite everyone to do that before we get started here and to set an intention for this live stream. Set an intention that we receive the clarity that we need, the guidance that we need, that we receive all of the healing codes that we need, activations, if appropriate, healing, that maybe our hearts open a little more, our minds open a little more. This full moon in Sagittarius is very much about that energy of being open to possibility, of being open-minded, right? We started with that new moon in Gemini at the end of May with this energy of rewiring the belief systems, releasing the old stories. And this full moon is bringing us full circle within that process. So just allow that to occur. It might be a heavy energy for some people. I've definitely felt intensity today. Very emotionally intense. The fact that I didn't get much sleep kind of adds to it. I don't do well with not much sleep. I really don't. So I think that added to it. But there's definitely a purging quality. There's also a lot of really exciting energy, right? Sagittarius energy. It's mutable fire, right? So there's a lot of that action oriented energy. We want to get out, we want to explore, we want to socialize, we want to connect. There's a depth to Sagittarius energy too, though, right? Ruled by Jupiter. There's that philosophical, that exploratory energy. But there's something deeper happening too. There's like an activation of our warrior spirit that's occurring. And I'm going to get into that in just a minute here, after I read the chat a little bit. Yeah. Sometimes I have a lot of trouble sleeping around the full moons. And even the new moons sometimes. So I definitely get that. I definitely understand that. That can be really frustrating sometimes. This whole ascension process, right? It's like the thing that we need the most is sleep, right? Hydration, water, sunlight, and sleep. Top 3 needs for ascension, right? To support the physical body and everything that's going on. Yet one of the symptoms is not being able to sleep. It's like one of those, fuck yous from the universe, really. You know what I mean? And I know spirit, like we're always supported and loved and guided, but at the same time, it does feel kind of it's just an irony. We'll put it that way, right? But we do the best we can with what we got, with what we're working with. But those moons definitely, they affect a lot of people really intensely when it comes to that. I didn't even think about that last night. As part of the reason I was trying to play catch up and do a bunch of stuff in the evening time that I didn't have time to do during the day. So that made it a little bit later as it was. But if I had tried to go to sleep earlier, the moon might have made that challenging. Let's see. And yeah, the moon was at its peak at 3:44 a.m., at least on the East Coast. So it makes sense why that would have been particularly challenging last night, right? Hello, KK. Hello, Matthew. I wouldn't know. Do you know anything about being like everyone else, KK? Or Kiro? We have KK and Kiro on here. I wouldn't know too much about that. I have a feeling you might not know too much about that either. Hello, James from Jacksonville. Hello, Michael. Hello, Prune. Oh, sending love and healing to you, Annika. I'm sorry to hear that. Don't feel pressure like you have to stay for the whole live stream. If you're tired, if you need to nourish yourself and care for yourself, that's totally fine. But if it feels good to do something else for a while and be distracted, then of course, you are a Jedi when it comes to keeping that chat clean and flowing. Hello, Tom. So let me see. We talked about this full moon also activating our warrior spirit. And so part of that, the reason for that is because we have a grand cross going on with the sun and the moon opposite each other. And then also the nodes of fate. So we have the north node at 23 degrees of Pisces, the south node at 23 degrees of Virgo. And then we've also got the sun at 20 degrees of Sagittarius and the moon at 20 degrees of Gemini, vice versa. Sun at 20 degrees of Gemini, moon at 20 degrees of Sag. 20 degrees of Gemini is also the location of a fixed star called Bellatrix. And this is the star within the Orion constellation. So we're activating that Orion energy, which I think is really interesting, given that we have Pluto retrograding across a fixed star as well, the star Altair. And we talked about this in the Pluto retrograde video if you guys didn't watch that. It's really powerful energies we're working with there. And that's all about, so Orion and Altair were both civilizations, star civilizations. I said were, they are, who went through a process very similar to what Earth is going through right now, which is where those in power became negatively polarized, were seduced by that negatively polarized energy and the promise of power over, and decided to dominate or subvert the population through mind control tactics, through all types of psychological warfare, energy warfare. And so it's interesting that, so Altair represents leadership, but it also represents that path of negative or positive polarization. And it represents that battle, right? That energy. And yes, this is all looking through the lens of duality, right? But in this particular experience of the universe, the multiverse that we're having right now, there is duality. That's part of how we're learning and growing. All right. So from a higher perspective, duality is an illusion, right? But when, like, from the perspective we're operating from right now, it is a teaching tool. It's a learning tool. And so it's interesting to see how the Altair and now Orion, two places, two star systems that are experiencing and have experienced and are essentially fighting the same battle, are connected here within this full moon. So we've got Pluto retrograding across Altair, and then we've got now the sun conjunct Bellatrix. Bellatrix is known as the Amazon star. She's also known as the lion if you go deeper into translations. Or I suppose you would probably say lioness, right? Since this is a feminine energy. And also the conqueror. And so this is a star that represents that female warrior energy. It has qualities of Mars and Mercury. So there's the quick mind, the quick wit, the intellect. There's also that impulsive kind of reckless energy, but that energy that is very useful in battle, especially if that recklessness can be tempered by the mind, by the Mercury energy. When we add Mercury to Mars in its highest or most exalted form, Mercury allows Mars to employ strategy. In the lower forms, it simply just makes us hot-headed, even more hot-headed, right? So it can go either way. This star represents victory in battle, which is really interesting, and high military honors, as well as high honors in general and great wealth and prestige. But it also represents or speaks to this energy where if we do not assume power or win our battles or wars through integrity, we face ultimate disgrace. So there's this honor versus dishonor, depending on how we're using our energy. You want to act with great integrity when you are within the sphere of Bellatrix. So it's a really interesting time for all of this. It gives that a bit of that hot-headed energy, a bit of that warlike energy. We need to be able to temper that. We need to be able to work with the more exalted form of this energy, right? Which is the strategy, which is knowing what we're passionate about, what is worth fighting for, and understanding the correct way to go about that. So we're really going to be working with those themes and energies, cultivating our own energies of, once again, leadership, as well as sort of igniting our own spiritual flame when it comes to being the spiritual warrior. And when it comes to how we carry ourselves, and the spiritual warrior, right, is one who is guided by love, guided by a ferocity, a fierceness that is rooted in love. So that's another aspect of this moon and this energy. It's also about connecting us. It's about, like we said, wiring in those new belief systems through this process that we've engaged in from the new moon in Gemini until now. I mean, not only then, but this is kind of what we're looking at right now. So we're working with those energies as well. We're also just working with the energies of faith and belief overall. We're being asked to have faith and belief in our path right now, even if we can't see the way forward. All right, we have Neptune conjunct Saturn in the early degrees of Aries, and they are actually squaring. Who are they squaring right now? Let me take a look at this chart again. They are squaring, lots of squares going on here. Jupiter and Mercury conjunct in the early degrees of Cancer. All right, so there's this push-pull energy. There's a little bit of tension here. There's something that we want to do perhaps or accomplish, something that we feel that we need perhaps to be safe, to be secure, that we feel like we're not getting. For some people, it could almost be like there's a passion or a desire coming up within us, but that passion or desire is trying to force us out of a comfort zone that we're not sure that we're ready to give up yet. It's trying to force us to take a risk that we're not sure if we're ready for. That's another energy that I'm feeling here, particularly with that square between Saturn and Neptune and Mercury and Jupiter. There's some way that we're being invited to expand, but there's that threat there, right? That threat to the ego, that threat to the known idea of the self. What feels good. Remember, Cancer, this is our comfort zone. What feels good, what feels safe, what feels comfortable. Jupiter in Cancer is inviting us to expand that comfort zone in a sense, which is an interesting way to put it, but that's kind of like what's coming through right now, like to expand the parameters of what we look at as what is safe and comfortable for us. So that's when we integrate, when we've kind of like, you think of the ego as this energy that limits us to keep us safe. But eventually, if we're able to push the boundaries of the ego enough, we're able to incorporate into our identity another version of ourselves. How do I'm trying to find the words to describe what I'm trying to say here. It's sort of like, we'll use an example of like going on YouTube, right? So the old version of the self, this would be completely outside of the comfort zone. This is not the identity. We'll say that I know myself as. We'll use me as an example, right? But something keeps pushing me to do it. My ego says, don't do that. They're all going to laugh at you. Everyone's going to click off. Nobody's going to care, right? But my heart keeps saying, but I want to do it. But I feel called to do it. So I do it anyway. And the ego's there screaming, no, they're all going to laugh at you. We're going to die. But I go on, I make a few videos, I do a few live streams. And yeah, maybe some people laugh, but I don't die. And some people really enjoy it and benefit from it. And so I keep doing it. And eventually my ego sees, okay, we've continued to do this. We haven't died, right? Some people have laughed. Some people have cried. Some people are still here. You know what I mean? Like, let's keep doing this. I guess it is safe. And that gets incorporated into my sense of identity. This is something that I'm capable of doing, right? And this is the process and how it works. So one of the aspects of Jupiter in Cancer that's coming through is expanding that comfort zone, expanding that sense of self. There's also like a major activation of our intuition I'm feeling for a lot of people right now. Remember, Cancer also rules intuition. It's the moon energy. Some people might be having some interesting dreams around this time. Let me know if you've been having some interesting dreams, because I feel like that's a definite possibility with this energy as well. I'm trying to see what else we want to talk about with this. I think we're just going to start pulling some cards and see what messages we get here. I'm going to check through the comments for a minute, too. Let's see. Going over the Patreon call. Yep. Oh, everyone's sending love to Annika. I love that. I love the supportive energy here. And hello, Ty, by the way. All right, we're going to do the Divine Codes Oracle. And then I was also feeling the Intuit Oracle. I'm feeling a bunch of things right now, so we'll see. You know, I said at the beginning this is going to be a short live stream, which probably means it's going to be like 3 hours long. How are you feeling this energy, Ty? Trying to get a good piece of pineapple here before we get started. There we go. No dreams, Michael. That surprises me. With all the meditating you do, your pineal gland is definitely highly activated. I would expect you to have lots of dreams. Maybe you do so much meditation that you don't astral travel or anything when you sleep, and your body's just like, all right, we're done for a while. Hello, Miss Pitts. Welcome. We're so happy to have you here. Welcome to the tribe. All right. The Divine Codes Oracle. I was called to this, and there's part of me that feels like we are receiving some heart codes through this full moon. Remember, all major astrological events are essentially portals. They create portals of energy. So there are heart codes coming through here. And it makes sense. I've been thinking about roses for the past few days. And roses represent the divine feminine. They also represent the heart and these heart activations. It's not a mistake that the Divine Codes Oracle has the roses on the cover. Clear. What messages do we have for our collective here? Hello, Persian Princess. Hello, Akash. Stick around. You'll figure it out. Messages regarding this full moon in Sagittarius. Anything else you want to discuss? Okay. We've got receptivity coming out. Become open and receptive to the healing, love, support, and guidance that the universe has to offer you. All is working out for the highest good. And then leap of faith on the bottom of the deck. And we were just talking about this in the Patreon call today. And if any of you want to join the Patreon, the information's in the description box below. We meet bi-weekly. We do guided meditations. We connect with each other, support each other, whatever we're going through, share our perspectives. It's a great multi-dimensional group of people. So we have a lot of different perspectives and visions that we could get to share with each other. But we were talking about receptivity. And I was talking about how I've been guided to really just open myself up to receive more. And to work with that divine feminine receptive quality and energy. And so I think it's beautiful that the card we're getting out is receptivity. Some of us, it's like, because we are such a hyper, like the masculine aspect of our energy is so amplified in this reality. A lot of us might think that we know how to receive, but we really don't. Honestly, because we're designed to always be doing and accomplishing and striving, hustling, right? Grinding. But there's this energy of, as a collective, we're really being called to perfect the art of receiving, of receptivity, of attraction. I think it's interesting how the pyramids, there's a lot of Egyptian energy and symbology on these cards. What? We're all in human bodies currently. We can definitely confirm that. Or I don't know. I can't see everybody watching this. So maybe everybody's not in a human body. But as far as I'm aware, I'm feeling as though most of us are. That's about as far as I can go with that. All right. So there's been a lot coming through around Egypt. And I wish I had the name for you guys, because I just stumbled upon the most amazing YouTube channel. I'll share something from this guy that I've been watching. He's like a psychiatrist, but like a metaphysical psychiatrist. Like, I don't even know, but he talks about a lot of, and I like to gather things from different viewpoints, right? Different perspectives of our galactic history. And so there was a video I was just getting ready to watch of his that had to do with Egyptian, Lemurian, Atlantean history, and sort of his take and understanding of that. And he talks a lot about the 12-stranded DNA, activating all 12 strands of our DNA. And as we activate our light body and activate our own unique divine codes, and isn't that interesting, divine codes oracle. And so there's been a lot coming through about Egypt here, and about this energy of how when the false gods infiltrated our reality, they essentially presented themselves as the Egyptian deities, the Egyptian gods, was one thing that he was saying that did resonate with me. And that's not to say that there's not like positively polarized energies of these deities as aspects of our own consciousness. But there is also, it's like they came to this earth as these deities, posing as these deities. And that's when the energy of worship came in. Worship and sacrifice and all of that type of stuff. So it was really fascinating. I don't know, there's just so much there. It's like we think about ancient Egypt, but there's like pre-ancient Egypt. And there's a whole wealth of knowledge from that time period as well. And a lot of us, we were alive during Lemuria. We were here during Lemuria. We were here during Atlantis. Atlantis was founded toward the end of Lemuria. That was part of Lemuria, but separate. Some of the Lemurians who then went off and created their own civilization because they wanted to advance. They thought the ancient ways were outdated, right? And they wanted to experience something different. And then when Atlantis was destroyed, so it's said that they found their way to Egypt, those who lived, those who survived. The full moon was actually at 3:44 a.m. today. So we're in the full moon energy right now. Although depending on where you are in the world, it could be occurring tomorrow. Absolutely, Alessandro. Yeah, a lot of us do have reptilian DNA. We've got DNA from all kinds of different extraterrestrial beings. So there was essentially what, like, the whole point of that little diatribe there was this idea of all of that ancient knowledge and wisdom from these very early civilizations that found its way to Egypt. Egypt was one of the nexus points for these energy. Egypt also is one of the earth's chakras. So there's a lot, it's a power place. There's a lot of energy there. Some people may be called to connect with Egypt, whether to physically travel there or just to connect through dreams. I'm feeling like some people, you could be connecting through dreams, like you're going to have a dream or you have had a dream recently. And you're trying to figure out, was this dream real? Because it felt much more vivid than the dreams that you typically have. It could have even been a memory. But I'm like confirming that, yes, that was real. That is real. All right, our dream time is very active. We go all over the place during our dreams. Yeah. So there's a lot of, I feel like part of what's going on right now, this is interesting. So some of the codes that we're receiving currently, we talked a lot on here about the Lemurian codes, right? And how those are activating within people. There's Egyptian codes, Egypt codes activating within people right now. The true codes, not the codes from the false gods. The false gods, when they came, they actually erased memory. They actually, like, tampered with the DNA and essentially dumbed it down, for lack of a better word, to that two-stranded form that we now know and many believe is our true DNA, right? But our true DNA is 12 stranded. And so there's this energy of, it's like going back to the beginning of when this occurred. Almost like time travel is what I'm feeling. Some people are going to be guided to do this, to time travel back to when this occurred and almost like begin shifting the energy here. That's interesting. Reclaiming those codes. It's almost like when we're really talk about reclaiming our DNA, it's like this is the start for a lot of people. Is starting here, going back to where it all began. So that's really fascinating. So that was a more esoteric message. There's some more, I almost said more basic messages. There's some less esoteric and trippy messages coming through as well. And I want to say hi to Rick real quick before we get going on those. Oh, I love that. I'm a Saturn in Sag myself, and Uranus in Sag Mellow Arts. And yeah, a lot of positive reptilians. You know, reptilians, so there's a large contingent of reptilians that are negatively polarized at this point, but they're not all that way. You know, it's like at the beginning of this video, we were talking about Orion and Altair, right? There is a lot of beings on both of those, in both of those star systems that are negatively polarized. Doesn't mean they all are. All right, there's rebels everywhere. This is the tribe for the rebels. That's why we call ourselves the Cosmic Rebels, all right? There are freedom fighters everywhere. There's all sorts. We never want to classify one group as saying these people are all bad. That's how we see that happening in the world today, right? And where is that getting us? We talked about this in a video recently, though, how like polarization builds and builds to a breaking point, and then when it gets to a certain level of intensity, it almost implodes back on itself, and we end up in unity. So that's what we're seeing happening in the world right now. It's really fascinating. But yeah, we never want to classify an entire group of beings and say they're all bad. That being said, we want to be wary, right? We want to keep our wits about us. We want to really read energy, because energy doesn't lie. Lyrian, Pleiadian, absolutely. Yep. Arcturian. We got everybody in the house, guaranteed. All right, so, and we're not just one thing either. That's the thing. We're many things. We are multi-dimensional beings. So that some of them are, I guess you would call them mundane. I hate that word though. But that's just my need to be, different, right? That makes me not like the word mundane. Hello, Robert. But, and this is a 26 card, which is an 8 card if we break down the number 26. So I'm feeling that 8 energy might be significant for someone, or even number 26 itself. But Spirit's saying, if something in your life does not feel like it's going to plan right now, and this is where we said this is an initiation into faith and belief right now as well, right? If there is something that is not going to plan, Spirit is saying it's not going to your plan, maybe. Or you don't think it is because you can't see the whole picture. But trust and believe that it is going to plan in the higher realms. All right? There is moving parts that you can't see. And it is a great opportunity for you to practice faith, for you to practice trust. It's really testing. And I know a lot of us have been feeling this way lately. Right? Like it's really testing that. How much do you truly believe? How much faith do you really have? Do you know without a shadow of a doubt that's what's yours is always yours? It's got your name on it, period. It will find you when you align with it vibrationally. And sometimes it's like We're so close. And we start getting attached to whatever it is that we're waiting on. And that attachment drives a little wedge. So we got to let it go. We got to release it again. This whole process of life is just a constant releasing, right? Taking back control, releasing control. Taking back control, releasing control. Do you really trust spirit? Do you really trust your higher self? If so, then what are you stressed about? What are you worried about? That's going to be an important message for some people, including myself. Welcome, Robert. We are doing a reading for the full moon in Sagittarius. So there may be messages if you found yourself here for you regarding this. Simp says 24th dimension. All right, now we're talking. Hello, Maestro. Hello, Rick. I don't know if I said hello to you yet. So basically, sit back and let spirit do its job. You've already done your part. Your part now, remember, receptivity is to receive. And spirit saying, you say you're ready to receive, but you're still trying to control the situation. Maybe you should stop doing that. Maybe if you stop trying to control the situation and you get yourself, then you'll truly be in that energy of receptivity that's necessary. Hello, Lindsay, beautiful. We have leap of faith. This is all about that energy of stepping outside your comfort zone. I feel like some people, what's going on right now is you took a leap of faith. Now you're flying through the air. But it's like, I'm seeing somebody where it's like, there's, you know, when there's like a big gap and you have to jump over the gap. I feel like I see somebody soaring through the air and it's almost like midway across, this doubt comes into mind like, fuck, am I actually going to make it? What if I crash and burn right now? What if I didn't jump off hard enough, right? Push off hard enough? What if I don't have enough momentum to carry me across this whole gap? And so it's almost like you're starting to sink yourself. So let go. Go back into the state of trust. Allow yourself to fall back into the state of trust that allowed you to jump in the first place. You know it's there because you jumped. You know it's there. You know you're capable of it. Got to keep an eye on the time here. What have we got here? 22. This number's been following me around like crazy. I don't know what numbers you guys have been seeing, but I've been seeing 2s everywhere. Let's see. I love you guys. You're awesome. Ooh, the Maldives. That's somewhere I would love to visit someday. Somewhere that I will visit someday and I look forward to visiting. You guys are amazing. All right. So this is about taking our power back. Self-expression. Allowing yourself to be seen and heard. And isn't this interesting, all the protesting, the signs and everything on this card? We were talking earlier today about all the protests and everything that's scheduled in the United States for the 14th. And holding space for that energy and whatever might occur. Just keeping that, holding that space, holding that energetic container. Right? I mean, everything... Honestly, like every day there's a certain amount of chaos, right? So it's kind of like an everyday thing at this point if we can send a little love out, you know what I mean? But definitely on that day. Okay. Well, this is interesting. The sacred masculine. And this is all about knowing that you're safe. Allowing ourselves to be vulnerable. So that's really powerful. Got the snake here on this woman's back or this man's back. Probably a man since it's a sacred masculine card, right? But doesn't have to be. Representing, this is the year of the snake, right? It's a white snake too. Representing purity, innocence, rebirth. That's that Jupiter and Cancer energy as well. Embracing our vulnerability. Allowing ourselves to feel safe. And this ties into receptivity as well. So something that I was learning the other day was if our nervous systems are in fight or flight mode, we're almost incapable of being receptive, because when you can only truly be receptive when you feel safe. And so there were these exercises to breathe in and out through the heart space, to call in love through the heart, to meditate, working with that heart space, which helps to build that heart-mind coherence and helps to center us in that feeling of safety. And all these exercises that you can do to balance your nervous system, because we're trained to be in fight or flight mode all the time, right? So that's like the imbalanced masculine that's always having to do, always having to go, always having to defend. It's only when we drop into that parasympathetic nervous system, when we drop into that mode of softness, of stillness, that we're able to heal and that we're also ready to receive. So none of our manifestations can come to us if we're in that fight or flight energy, which is really interesting. Yeah, balance. I'm going to pull from I really feel a lot of powerful dream energy for people. Clear. Set the intention to receive in your dreams, to receive healing, awareness, activation. Leap of faith popping back out again. We're already ascended. We're just catching up in physical time. Spirit's really urging some people watching this live stream out of their comfort zone right now. Self-acceptance card coming out. You are not broken. You are beautiful just as you are. So somebody might be afraid to take a risk because they don't feel good enough. They don't feel like they'll be accepted. They don't feel like they're worthy of what it is that they're being called to reach for. So that's what's ready to be healed right now with this beautiful heart expansion. 11, 11, 11, I'm feeling guided to say. During this time, give yourself the love that you seek. Place your hands on your heart, or place one hand here. Sometimes I do one around the navel and one on the heart. And just breathe love into every cell in your body. This is a practice that I like to do at least once a day. Ideally in the mornings and in the evening time before I go to sleep. Just breathe that love into every cell of your body. You are so worthy. Simply because you are. Remember, New Moon in Gemini, we released all those stories. You don't need a story to prove why you're worthy. All right, that's an old, outdated way of thinking. You don't have to earn your worthiness. You simply are. Some of you, I feel like there's going to be some type of encounter or situation or circumstance. Somebody you meet, it feels like, who's going to touch your soul in a way that you're not accustomed to. It's like something about their softness, their innocence, their openness, or their safety. For some of you, it's going to be like the way they make you feel safe. They make you feel safe, seen, or heard. Witnessed is the word that's coming through. And your heart's going to open a little bit more in the presence of this person because it feels safe too. That's really beautiful. We got a reminder here of the timeline jump, but also the energy of divine timing still being at play here. The message that this is interesting. It's kind of like what's coming through is like we've had so many timeline jumps recently that it's almost like when this happens, everything, the way that everything was organized, right? Like there was a sequence of events that was going to occur that was orchestrated in order to allow you to meet the people where you were meant to meet, go where you were meant to go, you know, all the things. Then these timeline jumps happen and all of a sudden that has to be like reorchestrated. It's almost, this is the funniest image. I'm literally seeing like somebody's guardian angels and there's like a room with a big table and there's like maps and scraps of paper all over the table. And obviously this is like taking some creative license with this visualization. It's for the point of humor, I think, the way my brain's seeing it. It's like I've seen some of them with like cigarettes hanging out of their mouths and they're just like, fuck, like trying to, how do we rearrange this? How do we, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's funny. So everyone's, even your spiritual team's doing the best they can in this energy. All right, your higher self. Because it's very unpredictable. There's so much going on right now. That's why like all we can do is just try to maintain our frequency. With things arrange and rearrange as we're constantly shifting timelines. You know what I mean? Like it's just chaos. But there's still like a progression of events. Even when we jump a timeline, there's always certain progressions of events. And yeah, we can rearrange them as many times as we want, you know, by employing our quantum awareness and knowledge. But it's still like Spirit's saying, trust the plan. Even if that plan's been revised 100 times, just keep trusting the plan. You don't need to see it. You don't have to know it. Just feel it within your heart. Feel it within your heart and just keep moving forward in faith. All right. If you jump, Spirit will catch you. Clear. Spirit's going to take its time. It might feel like you're about to fall flat on your face, but Spirit will catch you before the moment of impact. Why? Because Spirit's got a sense of humor. All right, we're going to pull a couple Intuit Oracle cards here. Clear. Is it? That's weird. Maestro, that's wild. You said that the live stream keeps jumping back to everyone watching on the replay? Huh. Interesting. I wonder if this live stream's like jumping timelines or something. Yeah, maybe it's just because Spirit has a sense of humor. Maybe there's something significant about who's going to be watching this on the replay. I don't know. I don't know why it's doing that. That's really interesting, though. These live streams always do some weird stuff. You know what I mean? Clear. There's always something, like as I'm recording it, it looks crystal clear. But then I'll watch the replay sometimes and it's like I'm jumping around and this, you know, like it's, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely glitches going on in the matrix for sure. Good question, Ploon. Because it's more funnier to see you without it, I guess. Hello, Tripty. Welcome. I'm doing the reading for everyone right now. You are in the right place. There will be a message for you. All right. Here we go. Maybe people watching this on the replay are supposed to pay attention to this next part. Maybe that's why that got acknowledged just now. But yeah, it is weird with the timelines, right? We're talking about jumping timelines and then it keeps going back to the beginning of the reading. Yes, welcome, Tripty. Let's talk about this full moon, what's coming in for people, what's going on right now. What everyone needs to hear, both on the replay and live in the chat. We got Sagittarius. This is the moon. The moon that we are experiencing. Jupiter energy, definitely feeling that coming through. This restlessness, I'm feeling that energy of restlessness. I feel like some people that I'm reading for right now, you've been feeling really restless lately. I'm feeling almost this energy of like, feeling like there's somewhere that you're supposed to go or something that you're supposed to do, but you don't know what it is. But it just feels like whatever you're doing right now or wherever you are right now ain't it. That's the feeling that I'm getting here. So it's like, why am I here? Why is this happening? I feel like I'm supposed to be somewhere else. Or I feel like, and this is because this is because you just jumped a timeline. That's why you're feeling that way. Because you're getting accustomed to the new timeline that you just shifted onto. See what else wants to come through on this. And Spirit's saying, don't worry, the clarity will come. Right now, it's just about recalibrating yourself and allowing events to transpire. Got Venus, the goddess of love, speaking of events transpiring. So this could have to do with love or money, typically when we see Venus. Also self-love, of course. The energy of attraction. Magnetism. Definitely abundance. I feel like somebody's life is about to get really good. Really good. Like lots of joy, lots of connection, lots of love, maybe even divine partnership here. There's a brand new, this is the Empress, the Venus card in this deck. So there's something brand new being birthed right now on this new timeline. You will know exactly what to do when you're meant to do it. So if you don't know what to do right now, it's like you're also, so you just shifted onto a new timeline, but you're also, it's like you're sensing your future timelines as well. They're not there, they're not here yet, but you are sensing them, you're feeling them. So there's that restlessness. Because there's like that part of you that wants to get going right now. Well, if you've been asking about your love life, then I would definitely say that like the energy that I'm getting for love, at least right here, is pretty pleasant. So we've got the wolf. Didn't somebody mention the wolf energy? This is head of the pack. And these are actually dogs on this card, but I was feeling the wolves for some reason. Wolves are huskies, right? Like dog sleds. You think of huskies most of the time. This is success, drive. So if any of you have been creating something, it's like that energy is with Jupiter and Venus here. That energy is, it's like it's being magnified. And this goes back, we keep coming back to this vibrational escrow, right? What we've put out vibrationally through the service that we've done, through how we've given back, through how we showed up, is coming back to us. It's like that energy is being magnified right now, is what Spirit's saying. And it's going to come back tenfold, 15-fold, 20-fold, 1,000-fold. So don't worry about that. Just rest. Right now is a time to rest. All right? July is going to be crazy. Take this time during June to rest. Take this time to fall more deeply in love with yourself. Because that is what draws in the love that we seek without, right? We must first feel and experience within. Somebody is just magnetizing success and some type of leadership position too, is what I'm feeling. Some type of leadership position for someone. And we talked about how Saturn in Aries is training us to be the leaders of the new earth, right? We talked about Neptune in Aries doing the same thing, teaching us how to be the conscious creators, right? The empowered creators. Pluto retrograde across Altair right now. There's so much where we're being trained to lead with love. To lead, there's like an energy of like, what's the word that I'm looking for when somebody is balanced and fair? Somebody help me out here. Diplomacy. Like a diplomatic leader here. Somebody who gets things done. Somebody who motivates and inspires people. It's like you inspire people through love. This is the type of leader that is being cultivated right now, that the planetary energies are assisting. This is the leader within each and every single one of us that is being born, right? The one that leads with love, the one who inspires people to rise to their highest potential, which is really, I know I say this a lot, but it's fucking beautiful. We have the fish here. This is resources, finances, investments, money, income. You name it, multiplying. I told you your blessings are multiplying. So get that sourpuss off. Any of us who've had that sourpuss on our faces because they're not coming in soon enough. Those blessings are multiplying right now. That's why they're not here yet. They're not ready. They'll be ready soon enough. Spirit said they'll be ready when you're ready for them. And you're getting there. Spirit's saying you will be given all the resources you need to do whatever you need to do on this earth. Trust. All right? We were talking about this in the wealth transfer webinar that I did. Talking about the first wave of the wealth transfer and how I believe that's going to be coming through. And in that video, we were talking about writing out what it is that we wish to do, right? What do we want to do with all of our abundance? How do we want to help? How do we want to help change the world? How do we want to make a positive impact on the world? And then what came through was, Spirit makes your bank account as big as your dreams. Once you are aligned with that frequency. All right. So what dreams do you have? How do you want to be of service? How have you already been of service, right? Because for some people, this is like receiving that flow of energy. If you've had a lot of energy going out, it's about receiving that energy back. But once again, we have to be receptive to that energy. We should absolutely fire star. Enjoy our lives simply because, right? It's the same thing as like, we don't need a reason to decide that we're worthy of love. We don't need a reason to destroy, I almost said to destroy our lives, to enjoy our lives or destroy them, right? Don't destroy your life though. All right. Enjoy your life. That's my vote for each and every single one of us, honestly. Hi, Michael. So yeah, the resources are coming in. They always have and they always will. Dream a big dream. And ultimately, the resources needed and desired will materialize. But everything happens in divine time. There's a reason why everything happens in the steps and stages that it does, like we said earlier. So you got to trust the timing. Got to trust your own higher self. Twin flame card on the bottom of the deck. Interesting. Endings. There's unexpected endings. It's an energy coming through here. As we know, endings always lead to new beginnings. Destruction begets creation. Exactly, Persian Princess. The resources are already there. Everything is already there. We simply have to align with it. Align with it and be receptive to it. All right. Get the Aquarius card with the clover and the third person energy. I feel like somebody might get thrown a curveball in a relationship here. And if you do, if it turns out that there's another person involved in a situation, like an extra person, we might say, from our perspective, just know that, like, if you're being liberated from a connection right now, it's because there's something else waiting for you. There's something better for you. This is an interesting message coming through too around love and connection. I feel like somebody's going to be meeting somebody. It almost feels like a one-night stand kind of an energy or a short-lived experience, but it's one that kind of like revitalizes your belief in romance or fun or spontaneity, or like lights a fire back within you, interestingly enough. So it's like not a negative experience of like a little fling or a rendezvous. It's something really positive with somebody who's very different, somebody who makes you think differently, somebody who actually like activates you and sparks something within you. Yeah. That's interesting. So somebody be open to that energy. If it feels right, go with it. Because I feel like there's something really powerful in this connection, brief as it may be. Let's see here. If you want a personal reading, Tripty, reach out to me. I can do those, and I can do short ones too. It doesn't have to be a long, we don't have to do a full like hour or a half hour. I can do like a little recorded reading for you or something. So reach out to me. Send me an email. I'll pull one card for that though, Tripty. Give me one card about this connection. For Tripty here. Give me one card, Spirit, about this connection. Whoa. We got the Mountain. Distance, solitude. And then we've got the Mortar and the Pestle. So this is all about alchemy. I feel like there's healing going on. That's separation is required. Separation of your energies from each other for some reason. Then we have the Gaia Mother energy and the Fire energy. There's some sort of blockage within the connection is what I'm feeling. But I don't feel like it's, I feel like it's kind of, some of it is necessary in order for, it's like sometimes people have different journeys, right? And that particular journey couldn't happen the way it needs to happen if the paths were still intertwined. So they have to be separated. But you're still feeling the connection between your two souls. And I feel like it's about you each developing a really strong sense of inner identity of who you are at this time. It's like that's what's really needed. But I feel like you may reconnect. Yeah. We have the Book, which is all about secrets, mystery, education. And then the Archer, which is Sagittarius energy too. But this is about something being right on target. I think that there's more that you're going to learn about this connection, or more that it's meant to teach you. And when it's meant to teach you more through a different way of connection, you'll reconnect with each other. But reach out to me if you want to do a private reading, and we can look more deeply into that. And yes, absolutely, to acknowledge the chat there. This planet and our love for this planet is the top priority. For sure. I agree with that. Here. Remember, she is a being as well. She is our beautiful divine Mother Sophia. Gaia Mother Sophia. She is a beautiful being. All right. Whoa. Okay. That was crazy. Cards just went everywhere. We have the Sun that everything split to. So I love that. That's all about vitality. Yeah, absolutely. Annika, will you Annika popped my website there. You can email me through the website. Also, my email, it's weareinfinite@bodyworkbykassia.com. Maybe Annika can pop that in the chat too. We are infinite, all one word, @bodyworkbykassia.com, or just follow the website. And the website, there'll be a contact us section, contact me, us, whatever. And if you click on that, you'll be able to email me. That should be in the description box below as well. Tripty. All right. Let's see here. I'll pick those up later. Clear. I want to do, what do we want to close with today? We'll close with a crystal card. I don't think no, maybe we did do that last time. I can't remember. All right, let's get a crystal card. Clear. What crystal wants to work with us this week? During this full moon and beyond. I'm so glad that you're here, Michael, and all of you. We have silver, the lunar path, and this makes sense with the full moon being today. This also is making me think of colloidal silver for some reason. People take that for health reasons. I'm not a doctor. I am not making any health recommendations. However, I do feel called to point out colloidal silver for some reason. Perhaps for some people, silver is like a health tonic that some people take. We also have celestial quartz, angelic truth. And interesting, a lot of this silver energy and this silver vibe that we're feeling today. Let's see here. Okay. I'm going to hold this up. There's light language on this card. Receive from that whatever is meant for you. Accept the gentle joy of my silver rain. Let it fall upon you, tears of the full moon in the endless sky above. Receive my gift of the lunar path, for in my embrace you are the goddess. The lunar body rises and sets in your every breath. Look deep now into the eyes of the moon. Seek your eternal self and ascend my silver stairs into the embodiment of your feminine soul and all that is undertaken. Feel, see, and know your progress. In this, the greatest test of all, physically. Lift now your feminine spirit, for together we are the very wind of change embraced for the betterment of all. I am your mother. Breathe in the path of Isis. Welcome me as the ocean does each night when I dance upon her back. With patience, balance, and compassion, the complete cyclic flow of all creation rests in your hands. Under my influence, you are protected in my flowing silver gown. You are pure. Fly now, back to the blanket of stars of your creation, and once again reclaim the solar crown. That's beautiful. And the Master Crystal Deva of silver is, how do you say that? Argentelm. Let's see. Silver is the mineral of the lunar path. Its energies are cyclic, flowing, cooling, gentle, and mothering like a calm ocean. So this is going to be, I think, a powerful stone to work with as well during Jupiter's transit of Cancer for the next year. She opens the goddess path in self, cooling and balancing excessively masculine attitudes, harmonizing emotions, and facilitating clear and well-ordered communication. Silver is an honest mirror for the spirit, reflecting the truth about the progress that is being made on the spiritual path, while infusing patience, perseverance, and an understanding of cyclic flow to help prevent attachments. Perfect, right? She activates the soul and earth star chakras and will greatly aid visualization and psychic ability. Silver is one of three minerals, including pearl and moonstone, that are used in a set sequence to activate the pathway of Isis, an ancient Atlantean ascension's pathway. On the physical level, silver is, silver is a powerful antibacterial, antiseptic, and antibiotic. It is also used for headaches and fevers, topically on burns, and for any programs associated with childbirth and fertility. Silver is one of the few remedies for sleepwalking and anorexia nervosa. Interesting. If silver has come to you today, it is time to activate and harmonize the goddess self. She lives in you as your most feminine component and is seeking a pathway of new expression. Take time to feel and balance your emotional body and be sure to verbally express what is found there in a forgiving and compassionate manner. You may need to accept the closure of some cycles and birth new ones. An active emotional body is a good base for action that changes lives. Drink plenty of pure water for the next couple of days. So this is like a detoxing and purging as well. Silver's presence often means a total clean out of your system. Silver is also the first energy to present when a soul is readying to incarnate. This card should always be seen as a symbol of feminine fertility and the fact that a little soul is ready. This is a sacred mineral of Isis and the Lady Nada. Seek them, they will be close. The affirmation is, I walk the path of the moon. Its cycle is my emotional freedom. And I was feeling something when I read that about the baby, like the soul ready to incarnate. If somebody's been working to conceive, carry some silver with you. For the next I'm feeling like 3 to 7 days, 7 days. And when you connect, right, when you make love to your divine partner, have silver on hand, close, under the bed maybe, under the pillows, on the nightstand, I don't know, something with that energy for somebody. If you've been sensing that soul, but they haven't yet dropped in, and you've been doubting whether or not it's going to happen, this is your confirmation. Don't give up. Keep trying. That's supposed to be the most fun part, right? Let's see. And I'm just going to take a peek at Celestial Quartz. Celestial Quartz is gorgeous. So powerful. And I'll hold that up as well. Let's see. Originally a gift from the angels to help us master personal power. This diverse form of quartz crystal is a mixture of the deep and light grays of smoky quartz and the whites and clarity of clear quartz. It rarely has one noticeable termination with multiple points, usually in many directions, and often all over its body, creating individual patterns and engravings that can be translated to teach the universal language of sacred geometry. Ooh. Within the threefold flame, the angelic kingdom are the keepers of the flame of power. The Elohim and Davik are the keepers of the flame of wisdom, and we are the keepers of the flame of love. Celestial quartz is the crystal of angelic truth, which could be translated into the truth about one's personal power. For many people, this crystal is very confronting as it provides such a pure and absolute view of the self. And I'm sorry, I need a sip of water here. It shows the seeds and cores of fears, diseases, and one's shortcomings associated with use of power in the world. And with all the astrological stuff going on here, right? With Pluto retrograding over Altair, everything that we've been learning about leadership, this is really powerful, right? Personal power. If we haven't mastered personal power, we can't be much of a leader, right? Let's see. Work with celestial quartz over time can anchor angelic characteristics into a person. And we know a lot of us have had their angelic DNA activating as well. So if you're feeling your angelic DNA activating or activating to another level, celestial quartz will help with that process. And with connecting to the truth and the purity and the innocence of who you are. The next level of your personal power. Let's see. Can anchor angelic characteristics into a person via the crown chakra, open to angelic communication and a higher light frequency. Via its powerful action, celestial can help one to overcome emotional burdens and balance the mind to such a degree that it can deliver understanding of life purpose. Ooh. Let's see. It's useful for epilepsy, schizophrenia, where there's burned out brain tissue, healing from drug abuse. It helps to stabilize the brain's frequencies. It harmonizes imbalances between the higher glands in the brain. It's a sacred stone of ascended master Melchizedek and the Egyptian god Thoth, able to open light packets left by him all over the earth. So it literally opens portals, okay? If anyone's going to Egypt, bring some celestial quartz or any of these major chakras or points, all right? It is a special contact stone for Archangel Michael. If celestial quartz has come to you today, you have reached a time in life where you are ready to truthfully see where you place your personal power in the world. In the coming days, observe your actions and those of people around you. Remember, there should be a balance of incoming and outgoing energies where power is concerned. A lack of personal power usually results in one becoming a victim and losing love for self. An excess of personal power can become a corruption of the highest order, birthing an ego that can take the reins of life and may even believe that it is the spirit. So this is a really perfect and important crystal for those of us on a spiritual path to balance the spiritual ego, right? And by spiritual ego, I mean the kind of ego that develops around spirituality, that hides under the guise of spiritual righteousness, spiritual knowledge, spiritual wisdom, right? Let's see. Above all, know that celestial quartz is here to show you the truth. And an affirmation is, I own my personal power. Anybody who tells you they have no ego or they have completely transcended their ego is probably suffering from spiritual ego. Clear. If they're still incarnated on this planet, they've got at least a little bit of ego anchoring them into this density still. All right, I love you guys so much. I hope that you all have a beautiful full moon. Let go of what's not serving you. Let go of those old outdated beliefs. Surrender once again to your higher self, to divine timing, to your divine path. Trust that it is unfolding perfectly if you allow it and get out of the way. Right? Everything is exactly as it is meant to be now and always. You are perfect just as you are. You are beautiful. You are doing an amazing job at being a human on this planet right now. You're doing an amazing job walking around in that meat suit. You know what I mean? I love you so much. Thank you for being here. Go charge your phone. You guys are amazing. I've had mine on the charger the whole time. I have to for these live streams. Love you so much. Talk to you soon.